wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God, I let it go.
May 2022 video horoscopes with me, Lada from Astrolada.com. May is eclipse season. There will be some crises that are happening in our lives, some big reversals, but like with everything eclipses, those reversals can create powerful new opportunities in our lives. I had such a crisis right before the eclipse, and my YouTube channel with 300,000 followers was deleted, hacked and deleted, and YouTube refuses to restore it, which is a great opportunity to create the vision I've had for some times, because something had to push me to make a channel just with my own videos that is pure astrology with my teaching and occasional teacher, astrologer who is my guest. Plus, this pushed me to start an Astrolada streaming service, which we're in the process of creating, where you can access all the videos independent of any platforms and big players, as you can see how they can delete your life in a second if they want. But I'm excited for this because it will be devoid of the vibrations of whatever it is, but we're still gonna use YouTube to attract new followers. And please subscribe to that YouTube channel if you're using YouTube or whatever you're watching, Facebook or Instagram. Follow me, and I'll be posting here. We'll restore some of the old videos as well, which is great, the tutorial videos, and I have new rubrics, new monthly exciting astrology projects that I'll be doing. And by the way, if you want to still join me on my course in May the 4th, it starts. It will be live for 6 weeks. I'll be teaching foundational astrology, how to interpret the natal charts, the techniques that are very simple but extremely insightful. There is an installment plan if you can't afford to pay it just once. So, new beginning. Let's begin with eclipse seasons. A lot of us will be having new beginnings. Please take it as opportunities, not just as crises. Aries rising, sun or moon, May 2022. What a month, guys! Exciting news. Probably all astrologers shouting from the rooftops. Aries, some good times are coming for you because Jupiter is entering our sign, whether it's your sun, moon or ascendant, and will stay there till November for about 6 months. On the 10th of May, you're going to start feeling like life is coming into you. Like Jupiter is the greatest benevolent in astrology. It has the energy of spring. It's warm and moist, and that's according to ancient tradition. So wherever it goes in the horoscope and it's coming into our sign, sun, moon or ascendant, doesn't matter, you're going to start feeling it, especially the earlier born Aries and the later ones as well. Because it's one sign is like being in the same room. One can be a bit further away, but the earlier Aries and all Aries will start feeling like a period of spring, of excitement, of wakening up, of more hope coming into us from May the 10th. And this is almost like 6 months it's going to last. And especially the first 10 degrees of Aries will feel this year. And then the next 20 degrees of Aries will feel this incredible opportunities that Jupiter in our sign gives next year, 2023, from the end of 2022. But even the later Aries, like I am, will feel some kind of renewal, more positive energy, more hope, more faith, more positivity coming around from the middle of May approximately. What can Jupiter in our sign bring, guys? Well, Jupiter naturally rules the 9th house for Aries and the 12th house. So on a material level, it can bring for some of us over the next 6 months opportunities to travel. Both the 9th and the 12th house, houses of foreign cultures or foreign travel or long distance travel, or even relocations to different places, foreign places or different states. It will make it easier. It will give you the green light. Such things can happen easier. Plus 9th house that Jupiter rules and comes into our sign brings the opportunity to study, to learn, higher education, to expand your mind, to understand something on a much larger scale than other times. And of course, this brings clarity with it. When Jupiter enters one sign, especially for Aries, as the rule of the ninth house, which is the ninth house is the higher mind, the higher perspective. Jupiter will suddenly help us see the whole picture. Maybe not suddenly, we'll have 6 months to do that, but we'll be able to see why did something, for example, if you've gone through something traumatic, or if you've been stuck in a situation, in a painful situation, when Jupiter enters our sign and is the rule of the ninth house of our higher, of making sense of things and higher understanding, you'd see the not just the different pieces of the puzzle, but the whole puzzle, the whole tapestry, not just the weaves and the threads, the whole picture, and you'll be like, aha, I understand why I was stuck in this situation, or I understand I might have lost something, or I might have been in a depression or lost someone or something, but I understand it's for good. And it's like a blessing. It's like the wind of Holy Spirit washing you over with those positive feelings, with those positive understanding. And Jupiter is the biggest joy-bringing planet. And actually, joy comes not from material possessions. Joy comes from understanding. The highest level of joy is understanding. So that's what's coming to us, understanding for certain things. Plus, of course, on the material level, Jupiter can really expedite positive developments in our lives and positive opportunities. As I said, they can be educational, to get accepted, to study something, to pre-qualify as the rule of the ninth house, to travel to foreign places, to find a teacher or a guru or an inspirational figure that you follow, to teach others, to start activities very successfully connected to teaching, educating, traveling, higher knowledge, understanding, and even some coaching, life coaching. And you might start getting very interested in programs about self-growth, self-knowledge, positive thinking, manifestation, and because Jupiter also rules our 12th house, 12 houses, making a reality when it's in the first house. Ability to make reality and from the invisible worlds and to bring it into the manifested, into the first house. The first house is the manifested, to start something, to create it, but something that has been in the astral, something that you dreamed up, something that you've been preparing for. So a lot of new beginnings for Aries, especially the earlier Aries, the March Aries, the first 10 degrees Aries in the next 6 months, positive new beginnings. You can start businesses, you can start good improvements in your life with joy, because you understand it, because you want it, because you're excited about something, not by force. Jupiter works through joy. So I'm very happy, guys. Plus, some spiritual experiences can happen. The feeling of being in awe, the feeling of being connected to life, feeling the pulse of life. You know how sometimes you can feel disconnected? That's called depression. Even if you're surrounded by people or whatever, just nothing brings you joy. Well, Jupiter will start changing that. I'm talking this because I had a lot of those feelings in the last few years, and I'm so ready for Jupiter to renew our spirit, myself as well, and to feel this joy, excitement for life again, this connectedness to the flow of life, to the mystery of life, and to something. Both the 9th and the 12th house that Jupiter rules are indications of some kind of a higher mystical powers, the miracle of life, the hidden secrets of life that we can connect with. Plus, the rule of the 12th house being in the first, it can indicate some very good things coming to you from faraway countries, from foreign places, but also in regards to spirituality, in regards to psychological healing as well, in regards to liberation. 12 houses to be freed from something, coming into the first house, maybe being physically freed from something and released from some addiction, obsession, vice, self-undoing behavior through understanding, or through the grace of God as well. And being way more spiritual than other times. You might find yourself that you're becoming more like a teacher, people coming to you for advice, coming for you for higher wisdom and knowledge, and you being attracted to such activities as well. But otherwise, good things can come to you through your own knowledge, opportunities. So I'm very positive force. Plus Venus, from the beginning of the month, enters our sign. The two benefics will be in our sign. Yes, Aries, do fun things, do good things. Venus can bring us love and opportunities to express love and relationships. Can bring us to be more cooperative, to do beauty procedures as well for the whole month of May, to feel more attractive. And with our more, which is not so typical for Aries, but with more accommodating and kinder approach to win others people's hearts, to attract others magnetically rather than having to fight for something and go get it. You'll be like a magnet for good things starting from May. And Venus can just even sometimes give good experiences like better food, going to beautiful places, experiencing some indulgements. These are the joys and the pleasures of the physical and the material, the things that externally bring us happiness, which is relationships, good attitude from others, good food, good taste, good pleasant experiences. And Jupiter is the joy from within, the joy from knowledge, the internal happiness of feeling blissful and zen and hopeful, you know. So we have the external happiness Jupiter and internal happiness, external happiness Venus and internal happiness Jupiter in our sign. Plus it can be a period of starting of healing of your body for some of your Aries, especially if your ascendant, moon and sun as well is in Aries. They all can rule some health situations, and these two great benefic can start healing us there. Plus opportunities for money, for materially, this is Venus, for materially pleasant, indulgent or valuable things can come to us. Then we continue. Mercury goes retrograde on May the 10th in our third house. We're here. I've lost my Mercury, but let's put another planet that symbolizes. So if this is us here, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury goes retrograde on the May 10th when Jupiter enters also our sign. So this can be the time till the end of the month almost. It will be retrograde in our third house. We can meet people that we haven't met from the past for a while, old school mates, workmates, mates. People can connect with you that you haven't heard from a while on social media or in real life. We can reconnect. And hopefully these will be pleasant experiences. I don't think Mercury is making any difficult aspects during that time. Of course, for some of you, it can mean reevaluating certain friendships or associations with others, or let's say third house is associates and who you let in your immediate environment, friends. And for some of you, there can be some kind of a crisis situation, understanding something, having to have some important conversations and set new rules or redesign the rules between your relationships with sibling, neighbors, co-workers, teammates, playmates, mates of any sorts, to set some different rules and maybe some important conversations that you have to lead for a little bit to improve that situation there. Plus some old projects or projects that you've been doing already can require more intense focus of our mental faculties, to put more energy into them, because Mercury retrograde means do 3 times more effort in one area. And third house is mental task, educational, communicative, connected to writing, speaking, media, social media of any sort. You might have to edit, fix such, work extra hard on anything to do with training, with education, with communication, all those things. Put extra efforts, 3 times more efforts, but the final result, when Mercury goes direct in June, can be very powerful. But you have to really put down a lot of focus on such activities, mental, communicative, maybe some extra intensity there will be required, and extra focus, and to be extra, you know, dedicated in such matters. All right, and then we're gonna have, we talked about Jupiter entering your sign. Then on May the 16th, there'll be an eclipse in our 6th house, guys, 8th house. And this is for us the eclipse of the moon. It's total eclipse. It's fully covers the moon in the 8th house. Okay, it doesn't directly affect our sign, the 8th house, but it is known as houses of sudden reversals and sudden changes. And this eclipse can last up to 3 months. You can feel it even a month before that, from April, and 3 months after the eclipse. So some of you, not everyone, but some of you might have some kind of a sudden change and reversal in life. And the 8th house is the house of death, rebirth, deaths and births, inheritances, insurances. You might be dealing with such matters that become quite intense, especially from the middle of May, that you have to put efforts there, that you have to complete. And it's not something new, it's something that culminates and something that might end as well, because it's with the South Node, this eclipse. So letting go, maybe something 8th house can indicate resources that come to you from others. Either maybe if you've been working on some inheritance, insurance, whatever, you can see the culmination, the completion of that. Or if you've been working on some project that is about other people's resources and finances, or connected with involvement of other people's talents and resources, it will culminate. It might come to conclusion over the next 3 months. It can start kind of being wrapped up. Or if you are 8th house is some psychological releasing, because Ketu is also the tail of the dragon that the eclipse is happening, to release, to excrete. And the moon is something to come to a conclusion. There can be the release of some trauma on the positive level, some traumatic experience, even something that is subconscious from a past lifetime, but that feels heavy. And you can feel a bit shaken, because when trauma comes to the surface, especially emotional trauma, it can feel like death sometimes. It can feel like a death of an ego. It can feel like being naked, or that some crisis is happening. Even physical symptoms can sometimes happen. But hopefully Jupiter and Venus are protecting us in our sign. So don't worry, whatever happens, we have divine grace over there with those two benefics in our sign to really uplift us, help us through that. If there is something Scorpionic 8th house that is happening, which is about letting go, endings, completions, releasing, certain reversals. But on the positive level, you can release certain obsession that has very strong grip on your astral desires, that can make you feel obsessive and crazy sometimes, or might have been feeling it till now. And its culmination, maybe it intensifies, and then it kind of starts dissipating and dissolving. It might be like obsession, whether it's sexual, whether it's addiction of some sort, whether it's a strong obsession emotionally of something, and often it's due to certain trauma. So this can be some kind of a peak moment of resolution, either with the psychologist or naturally, and releasing certain such situation. Plus, it can be completion of ending of someone's support that you receive from other, psychological, emotional, physically. Not only entangling connections, karmic connections with others that are, obsessive, but also entangling the receiving support or material, financial support from another source that kind of fizzles out. And then Mercury continues being retrograde in May the 24th, but it enters our second house, somewhere here, guys, goes back here. So then maybe for a few days, like a couple of weeks after that, the focus is on some material, financial matters from the past, or if money is owed to you, some possessions or valuables that can come back to you, or having to resolve some situation and put extra details connected with banks, with, again, some financial matters, or something connected to valuables and so on. And also it can be like reevaluating of what you eat, how you eat, maybe revisiting some old diet, or reintroducing some different kind of reevaluating your eating habits and values. And this is resources as well. Maybe if you're an artist, you might change the style of painting, or you might change not the style, but like the paints that you're using. If you're a dressmaker, you can decide to change and maybe use different materials. This is another way Mercury retrograde in the second can work out. And finally, Mars enters our sign, another big boost from May 25th. So the whole June and part of July will be like on fire. Our planet is in our sign, and it's kind of, we're shining. When a planet comes in its own sign, you're strengthened, and again, the physical body can be strengthened, and new opportunities can appear. So a lot of fun, interesting things for us. Just hoping the eclipse is not too stressful. It doesn't directly affect us, but it's affecting one of our financial houses and deep emotional houses. So, but it's kind of about eruptions and releasing of some sort. So thank you so much, and If you want to take advantage of Jupiter in Aries and learn with joy, join me on my course that starts in May. It's going to be 6 or 7 weeks. We'll see how long it takes, teaching you how to interpret the natal chart my own style. And there are installment plans possible. Thank you.